Program complete. Auto-engage time sequence synchronized.
Nearly 200 years have passed since the end of the devastating religious war. The empire fell, and its former provinces eventually became barbarian kingdoms. The church managed to revive hope, and peace and prosperity reigned over the ruins of the former civilization. Over time, the influence of the church only grew. But history is cyclical, and power cannot remain in one's hands for long. Wars between kingdoms flare up one after another. Hunger and poverty force people to abandon their homes and seek refuge in neighboring settlements. Can your dynasty unite the kingdoms and halt the advance of the Dark Ages? From this moment on, history is written by you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Jamie Plays with me, Jamie. Today we are going to be taking a look at Norland, a newly released game that many have been describing as a cross between a medieval sim like RimWorld and something like Crusader Kings 2 and 3 where you control a family. So let's dive in and I'll give you a review and then we're going to play the tutorial. Norland is a game that's being described by many as the answer to the question, what would happen if Crusader Kings 2 and RimWorld had a baby? The background is simple. 200 years ago, an empire covering the continent was torn apart through religious civil war. You are struggling to keep your people from slipping any farther into the Dark Ages while surrounding lords look to expand their own domains. Control your royal family and any nobles you can recruit to direct the running of your kingdom. Your peasants follow your lord's orders, doing everything from chopping timber and farming to making beer, paper, and other goods. Trade and sell these, all under the watchful eye of the church, which has set itself up as the central authority. Will you conquer your neighbors and proclaim your own empire? Will you ally with other free cities and push back the religious hordes that threaten to completely destroy civilization? Can you do all of that while keeping your peasants, warriors, and lords happy? I think Norland is an excellent example of a game that is in early access on Steam. During my playthrough, I noticed that all of the main elements of a real-time strategy community building game with characters and world interactions that you would expect are there, and have been mostly implemented, if not completely. Knowledge and training your family are probably the most important aspects of the game. Here, it really feels like the developers have taken time and really planned out the system. There are also limitations built in, such as books written in other languages that only certain characters can learn, and the difficulty of learning the knowledge versus the character's intelligence level. You can also have the lords write books about knowledge they have, which can be great if your lord suddenly remembers or figures out how to do something, but you don't have the book in your library for that. Simply write it down and then it won't be lost when your lord inevitably dies. Norland features 4 different cultures, and I like the touch that while most books are written in the old imperial language, each culture has its own language that can restrict knowledge. It will be interesting to see if this evolves any in the future. The fighting system is in place and is mostly smooth. Defend your city, send squads out to destroy bandits, or send your armies out to conquer the world. I like how easy it is to create armies and send them places. That system is very intuitive in my opinion. You can also control how they fight in encounters by giving them orders directly. At the moment though, it seems to be mostly run across the battlefield and attack. So I'd like to see a bit more developed for the actual combat part of the game, which feels a bit two-dimensional currently. The character interactions and relationships have been fully implemented and it shows. Interactions feel like they're almost on the level of RimWorld. On top of that, you have all the needs, desires, wants, ambitions, and inspirations for each character, which is certainly very nice to have and gives you more concrete goals to work towards. The peasants versions are also implemented as well, so you need to manage them, which is mostly done by making sure they have enough to eat and drink. Since you can only influence them indirectly, most of that is accomplished by setting production levels. Another excellent point in Norland's favour is that the devs are putting out balance and hotfix patches almost every day since its launch, many of which are implemented from user feedback, so bugs that appear once you have a wide base of users and the balance issues are being smoothed out every day. In addition to the bugs and the balance issues, something that Norland is currently lacking is on the dynastic side. It often feels like there's not enough time to train your lords and have them do all the tasks that they need to do. This is partly because you're limited to only 5 lords, which causes an issue. For example, if a lord has sex outside of wedlock, that is considered a sin and causes a debuff on the character. However, with 5 slots, you're always going to have at least 1 lord left over, committing sin after sin after sin, since sex is one of the character needs. Another issue is that there's simply not enough hours in a day for the lords to do everything. You can start with 2 or 3 lords depending on which situation you choose. You need to get your economy up and running quickly to make money because peasants need to be paid and you need to buy things from the caravan the church sends. However, you also need to acquire knowledge. So if you set your smartest lord only to do this, they won't have time for anything else. On the other hand, because you need those production buildings to get your economy going, your other lords are running around like headless chickens giving orders. It's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other situation. Also, when you do have children, another set of problems starts to appear. Firstly, the last stage of pregnancy means that the lady can't walk, so she won't be contributing much to the domain, so your other lords will have to pick up the slack, and if they're already at capacity, it's unlikely they will be unable to cover for her. You then also need to educate children to give them skills and knowledge, meaning a lord needs to take time out of their day to do this. This makes even more time that your lords simply do not have. What's more, when women get married, they always move to where their husband is, so you lose any female children to marriage. While the relationship bonus with the other king is nice, and you do get a dowry based on the skills that they have, it seems like a luxury to educate them that you simply cannot afford. This is definitely one of those things that I would like to see worked on. Creating a family with only 5 people seems to be way too small, especially for something like the medieval period where families were huge. Balance-wise, it's simply unfeasible to have even a medium-sized holding without other mechanics causing interference and making it difficult to run with only 5 lords. Increasing the limit of the number of lords in your family would be a solution to that. On the world map, it seems as though there's a lot that can be added or expanded, and hopefully it will be in future updates. For example, there are only a couple of situations at the moment. Bandit camps offering you their services or trying to kidnap your rulers, marriage proposals, kings that ask you to take out other kings, kings requesting that you help them defend against other kings, and then, of course, the horde that attacks everyone and everything. Other than that, there's not really much going on. Your villagers that pay tribute on the map can be raided, but so far nothing else can be done. It's useful for diplomacy and seeing where people are, but not much more at the moment. One thing that is absolutely not implemented, and I would like for it to be, is a minimap, especially when you're in your own settlement. Currently you have to remember where everything is and pan the map manually. A minimap would make it much easier to see what is going on and where things are, and it would be a great quality of life addition. All in all, I think Norland is the base of an excellent game. More work, of course, naturally needs to be done, but being in early access, that is exactly what the future holds for this game. If you're thinking about buying Norland now, I would say go for it if you like games like colony sim games, such as RimWorld. With the latest patches, the game is only getting better and better, and I'm certain some of my negative points are going to be added to the game in future patches. So, welcome to Norland. You are in charge of helping a noble family of lords who own a province in Norland achieve prosperity, security, and personal ambitions. Your lords obey your commands, but they also have their own will. Your history is just beginning. Excellent. So, let's take a look around. Use the WASD keys, the left mouse button held down. Yeah, or we can also use right mouse. So we can zoom using the mouse wheel, zoom in and out. So when you think we need to stop and think, pause the game by pressing the space key or a button on the bottom right corner. This is also where our time controls are. So we're going to use the 1, 2, 3 keys to increase time and also pause it again. So, character needs. While you only directly give orders to your lords, all characters in Norland have thoughts and needs. If these needs are not met, characters will become unhappy and start causing problems. Select a lord by clicking on their portrait. Click on the Mood tab in the character menu to see their thoughts and needs, so that's this one here. The most basic of needs are food and rest, which are replenished by consuming food and alcohol. You have a stock of provisions for the time being, but it's necessary to ensure reliable food and alcohol production so your characters don't go hungry. To do this, let's learn how to construct and manage buildings, starting with managing builders. In Norland, you only control the noble family, so you need to assign a manager to oversee the workers in the buildings. The instructions given by the managing lord are sufficient for 3 days, and on average, one lord can manage 7 to 10 buildings. Let's appoint a manager to the hall where your builders are assigned. Select the hall, click the management button in the menu that appears in the bottom left corner, and choose a lord for the manager role. Wait for the lord to distribute instructions to the workers. I'm just going to speed it up. So you are the one here, is shaking her fist and giving them orders. Let's just increase that speed. So let's appoint, so we've done that. Great, the workers are now aware of your plans and are ready to start building. Wood is the primary resource used in construction, so our first priority is to build a lumber mill. Click on the construction menu, select the resources heading, select the lumber mill and place it in the designated area. So let's do that, lumber mill, and it is here. Now let's build a rutabaga field to ensure everyone has food. The rye field is best placed on fertile soil, otherwise it will yield very little. I think that should also be rutabaga field as well. All fields, I think, need to be placed on fertile soil, which look like this. So right click the mouse button to go back one step in the construction menu. I did that last time, so if we have the lumber mill selected, you then right click as I did. Select the rutabaga field. After choosing the construction site, which I think it's already given to us, yet. Exit the construction menu using the right mouse button. Wait for the construction of the building to be completed, and I'm going to keep the time on 3, so that way these buildings are built. So what happens, you've got, like in many building games, somebody brings over the materials and then you start building the materials. Usually we can select this, but I think because this tutorial is open, we can't, and we would be able to see the building percentage. So you see he's standing there, this person's bringing over a crate which has our building supplies in there, and now we are building this rutabaga field, which is excellent and shouldn't take too much longer. There we go. So, since the employees need instructions, don't forget to assign managers to the new buildings. Note that the higher the lord's management skill, the more additional product the building will produce under their management. So what that means is that, for example, Tavara has a management skill of 3, which is not great. It's actually quite low. She's best at intelligence. So while she can manage 7 to 10 buildings, and the 7 to 10 will be dependent on distance and how fast they can move between buildings, or how far apart the buildings are, really, because I think the move speeds are all the same. The percentage that she adds, so each building by default is 100%, and then she will add a certain percentage. I think hers was like 132%, I think it said. So now let's select the higher management skill, more additional product the building will be produced under their management. So let's go here and say appoint a manager. Yeah, see, Tavara would be 212, 210, or at level 10, 232. So actually that's not much difference. I thought it was higher than that. Anyway, let's click on you. So that's the lumber mill done. Now we need, let's actually just do 2 separate people. It doesn't really matter. And then we will shake our fists and give our peasants our instructions, and that would be that. Great. So we have food production sorted out. Now it's time for alcohol, which helps to relieve fatigue after a hard day's work. We've already built a brewery for alcohol production, so let's create an order for the production of the cheapest type of alcohol, moonshine, which is made from rutabaga. Open the production menu. We are going to do until X, specify how much moonshine you want to have in the warehouse. Let's do 100. Yeah. So it's necessary to appoint a manager in the brewery, and the peasants will take the rutabaga from the warehouse by themselves, and at the end of the working day they will bring the produced moonshine to the warehouse. That's very important. So at the end of the working day is when you get all of your products from your various buildings. Note that you already have 50 units of moonshine, so to complete the task of producing 100 units of moonshine, you will need an additional 50 units of rutabaga, as 1 unit of rutabaga produces 1 unit of moonshine. Excellent. So close the production menu, appoint a manager at the brewery, which is already built and is down here for us. Let's take you, because I guess that's the closest. Once the workers receive instructions, they will begin their duties. During the day, they work, and in the evening, they tend to their own needs, receiving a wage, which they use to buy food and alcohol from your markets and taverns. We've got a market here, and I don't think we have a tavern yet. No. This is a dormitory, and these are noble housing. Ideally, each worker will consume 1 unit of food and 1 unit of alcohol per day. Characters will try to produce higher quality goods whenever possible. Lords receive food and alcohol for free, delivered to the hall by the servants to take it from the warehouse. Remember that this is our hall right here in the center. So, open the finance menu. On the right, under daily expenses, that's here, you can see the daily wages. On the left, you can see the prices and quantity of each resource that can be sold to the peasants every evening. So they're currently getting 8 gold coins per day, and based on the number of peasants, which is 7, that's where this minus 72 comes from. Yeah, right here, 7, and then also the 2 from the warriors, so that's another 16 there. And then we have a rutabaga, so we're going to sell the maximum amount in our local market of flour and meat as well, although we don't have any. And it costs 4 gold coins per unit. So I think each worker wants 1 rutabaga per time that they go to the market, which I think might be just the once per day. And then also they want moonshine, which is 7, so currently they can't afford it. So peasants first try to buy food and then using the remaining money on alcohol if they can afford it. By regulating prices and resource availability, you can influence the consumption of these resources, which affect their mood and financial savings, displayed on the right. I think it's currently underneath this tooltip, unfortunately. So next. Currently, workers' wages are 8 gold coins, the price of rutabaga is 4 coins, and the price of moonshine is 7 coins. This is not enough for peasants to buy both rutabaga and moonshine daily, so they will have to save for several days to go to the tavern. Let's reduce the price of moonshine to 4 gold coins so that workers can buy it every day with their wages. This will make them happier. Close the finance menu. By satisfying the needs of peasants, you increase their average mood, which affects migration. A high average mood will attract new workers to your city. Conversely, unhappy peasants will leave the city and become criminals. Actually, this should say leave the city or become criminals, because you might have some that stick around and just decide to go to be unemployed, do crime. Let's find out what concerns them the most. Hover your mouse over the peasant icon in the top left corner. At the bottom, the strongest negative thought of the peasants are written, along with the number of characters that share them. So for example, we have 7 who say, oh, the rutabaga is tasteless and the moonshine is repulsive. You can see here that they are displeased by the flavourless rutabaga and the unappetizing moonshine. We can resolve this by producing higher quality products, but we can't do that without specialised knowledge contained in books. But where can we get them? Ah, here comes the Holy Caravan to the rescue. They will sell us books and give us much needed gold for our other resources. So as we saw in the introduction, our civilization has kind of fallen apart. We're about to enter the Dark Ages and we're actively struggling against that. One of the ways is to increase your learning. So they sell us books and give us much needed gold for our other resources. Perfect. So gold circulates through the economy of Norland in 3 ways. The pockets of peasant migrants, trade with neighbours, and the Holy Caravan. The Holy Caravan arrives in the evening every 1 to 3 days and is the main source of gold, holy rings, which is a luxury appreciated by lords that serves as the currency of their class, books, and prisoners. Wait until the caravan arrives at its destination. Click on a caravan leader and select a lord to trade with him. So our trader is here. Note that the higher the lord's trade skill, the more profitable the trade will be. So let's choose somebody, with a high trade skill, which is you. The caravan leaves the city at midnight. Oops. meant to read the entire thing before it switched, but basically, yeah, it leaves at midnight. It's the only source of holy coins in the game, so you can't really get them anywhere else. Although, actually, if you get another lord who you hire them and then they like you so much they want to join your family, then they might bring in their own supply, but it's usually not very many. It's just enough to cover themselves. So the church supports the natural balance of supply and demand. So if you start selling too much of one product, the sales price will decrease. But for now, we shouldn't let this worry us. Sell 30 units of moonshine you have produced. Let's shift click like so. So usually what you would do is you just simply click here or shift click, and then if you go over by 30 to 31, you'd click here, but unfortunately because it's the tutorial, it's not letting me go down to 30. However, we want to buy a book. So let's go to the book menu. It wants us to buy the hop field and beer. So we're going to do that. Note that this has actually changed. This is being recorded, this video is being recorded 2 days after release, and they're doing patches every single day. In fact, I think they're doing patches more than once a day for bugs and for rebalancing based on feedback that they've already got. And actually, hops and beer have already been added to the books you start the game with. So you no longer have to buy it, but I guess the tutorial hasn't changed yet. So we're going to buy the book and then close the trade menu, like so, and continue. So now that we have a book on our on how to grow hops and produce beer, you can study it in the library through the knowledge menu. However, it looks like we haven't built a library, I think. Oh, actually, yes, it's down here. This is our library. Books can be written in different languages, but are mostly written in the Imperial language. So, now that we have a book on how to grow hops and produce beer, you can study it in the library through the knowledge menu. So, books can be written in different languages, but are mostly written in Imperial, so we need to assign a lord, and those with a higher intelligence level research it faster. It looks like at the moment it doesn't really matter, it's just taking 1 hour. That's only because this is the tutorial. It should actually take longer than that. So if at least one lord has led the book, the abilities and effects it enables become available to all. However, when that lord dies, all benefits of the knowledge will be lost. That also means, even though it's not made clear here, that you will lose the buildings as well. So, for example, if you, let's say you forget how to brew things, you will lose the brewery. I think it falls into something like disrepair, and it can't be used again until you get the knowledge back. So, besides managing buildings, your lords also carry out other tasks. However, they will refuse to do any tasks if they are unhappy. It seems that one of them is already unhappy now. This is indicated by the red background in their portrait. Let's see what happened. So, the Lord's character menu, you can see the main status indicators such as mood and loyalty, inventory, and traits. You can hover over any icon and indicator to learn more details. Let's press next. If a lord's mood is low, they may become depressed, refuse to carry out orders, then experience quickly decreasing loyalty. If loyalty falls below 25, the lord may leave your noble family or start a rebellion. Now, to find out why the lord is unhappy, let's move to the Needs tab. Here you can see the lord's needs and thoughts, the sum of which determine their mood. If it's below 25, they are unhappy. Thoughts can arise from needs or as a reaction to certain events. Hover over a thought to learn more details. So, this torturous desire, I must do this at all costs. So, an unfulfilled wish is bothering this lord. Now, let's return to the main tab to fulfill this wish and thereby improve the lord's mood. If you hover over your mouse to the desired icon, you will see that this lord dreams of holy rings. This down here, desire for holy rings. The rings appear in the resource list in the upper left corner, so we see all of our resources here that we have access to. And these are our holy rings. The rings that appear in the resource list in the upper left corner belong to your king and are in his inventory. That's this one right here. Let's share the holy rings with this lord by rewarding them. In addition to satisfying the current desire, this action will increase the lord's loyalty. Click the action button, select the king section, and select the reward action and assign your king to perform the action. The king is automatically doing that. Once your king finds the time, he will reward the lord you have chosen. However, you have made him complete the task immediately, or you can make him complete the task immediately. Click on the king, click on the reward task in the list of received tasks at the top of the menu, and wait for the king to reward the unhappy lord. So we've done that. Now we need to unpause, and they've gone, and they've been rewarded. Just like that. Perfect. So holy rings like the one you bestowed upon your lord cannot be produced. They can only be purchased from the holy caravan with gold. And since selling large volumes of goods lowers prices with the caravan, sometimes it makes sense to trade with neighbours where prices remain more stable. To enter into a trade contract, you must either be in the same state as your neighbour or have friendly relations with them. There are many ways to establish friendships with neighbour and king. Give him a gift, send your lord on a mission, or simply send your king to hunt together with them. Now let's improve the neighbouring king's attitude towards yours so that we can set up a trade deal with them. Go to the world map and click on the neighbouring city to open its menu. Click the action button, select lords, and select your king. Select hunting, or this flesh wolf hunt, and choose your king as the hunting partner. Wait until the kings have hunted together. Yeah, so I want to do their king hunting with my king. And now we just need to wait for our king to go. So this is where we are here in Sparksville, and our king is currently wandering to the edge of the map. And then once we get to the edge of the map, the nice large map actually, like so. Oh, and here's some peasants migrating in. We've just gained 3 of them. So if we go to the world map here, our king... Oh wow, he booked it. Okay, that was very fast. Maybe because this is the tutorial. So your kings had a great time together, and now the neighbouring king considers you a friend. Relationship above 25. It's the perfect time to talk business. Click on the neighbouring city to open its menu. Select the action button, select trade, and the city buys moonshine. Assign your lord to finalize the deal. To set up a profitable deal, send your lord with the highest trade skill. So we can see here, its trade, Leotamir's trade is level 3. So it's not great. We'd only get 59 coins. I'm reading at the top here. As part of the trade agreement, Ingemar will offer to buy 15 moonshine for 59 coins on a daily basis, which amounts to 4 per item. So it would actually be better. So Tsvara is even worse, that would be 57. However, this one, which is, I believe, our king's brother, would be 71 coins, so it'd be 5 per item, which would be much better. So price has been adjusted by plus 18 due to the difference in the trade skill between the trading partners. We could also send a messenger. I think it is basically the same as your king, that has the same level as your king, but slightly worse, so that's why it's the minus 3%, whereas this one, oh no, it's minus 3 as well. Okay, so I'm going to send this person, I believe the king's brother. I can check that in a second. Oh, it wants us specifically to use you. Okay, we'll do that then. So, 38 years old, 40 years old. Yep, that's the king's brother. So, they are finalizing this contract. It takes a little while. So I greet you, Leotamir. I'm running to express my delight at the inception of such a lucrative trade agreement. Not everyone can sheath their sword and engaging in negotiations. Signed by me and no one else, King Ingemar. So we've entered into a trade agreement. Relationship has improved by plus 10. The city's budget of the partner will increase, and the population of their city will grow by 1 inhabitant after each transaction. As part of the trade agreement, Ingemar will offer to buy 15 moonshine for 58 coins on a daily basis, which amounts to 4 coins per item. Excellent. While the deal is active, every morning at 11 o'clock, a button to sell moonshine will appear in the trade menu. The price negotiated by your lord will be honoured even as prices fluctuate on the main marketplace. Open the trade menu, sell moonshine at today's offer, and close the trade tab. So you literally just click the button. What I would actually do is just say trade automatically, but I can't do it because it is the tutorial. But if you do that, it will automatically do these, which if you have enough moonshine, perfect. And let's close the trade menu. So for the trade to take place, an available peasant from your city will be dispatched to the target city The distance between your kingdoms means this kind of trade is not instantaneous. However, these regular exchanges don't require paper like other actions do on the global map, since your kings already agreed to the deal. So paper is an important resource for deals, especially. And it's a very high level resource, so it takes a lot to produce, and in the beginning it's easier to buy. So return to the local map by pressing the world button or right clicking anywhere. So I'm just going to right click. Perfect, so we're back in our world, and that's it. Oh, Holy Sophia! So the god in this game, or the goddess in this game. The bandits have stealthily approached our settlement. We must fight back. Fortunately, we have some time before they launch their attack. We're going to open the army menu. So, the army menu allows you to create combat squads, but first you need to hire warriors. Click the add button. Yeah, because we only have 2. So we're going to add you. We have a few warriors, but we would like to increase our chances. You can add warriors by freeing prisoners, inviting unfortunate peasants, or hiring mercenaries. Newly hired peasants and prisoners will be consumed by fear of death and will run away at the first sign of danger, while mercenaries usually need 1 or 2 days to reach your settlement. Fortunately, there's a group of mercenaries near the city ready to be hired right now, and there is some weaponry in the warehouse, so let's increase your army. Note that you must pay the church a daily tax for your warriors, the amount of which depends on their skill. So this happens when the holy caravan comes through. You'll suddenly, just off the bat, it will say X amount of money for the warriors. So we're going to hire several of them. I think it wants basically 3. Yeah, it wants those 3, so we now have 5. So every unit should be led by a lord. The higher their command skill, the higher the unit's morale will be, and the lower the chances of the soldiers fleeing when taking damage. You will also select the warriors who will form the squad and the equipment they will be armed with. The distribution of weapons among squad members will be automatic, with your more skilled soldiers receiving higher quality equipment. Click on the squad creation button. Select a commanding lord. It's going to be you, so with a command level of 8. Move all your warriors to the squad by clicking on them. So warriors, we're going to add all of you. Arm your squad, so we need to click down here, and we want 5 weapons, 5 armors, and 5 shields. Fortunately, we don't have that, but what we do have is 3 sets of armor. Oh, sorry, we want our other lord there. We have 3 sets of armor. Well, okay, we need to click the weapons first, and we're not allowed to give them armor. But we've given them all the weapons they need. I believe one of them... Oh yes, she already has her own armor. Usually your lords have their own. If you look here in their inventory, they have a shield, armor, and an axe, and then a dagger, and 5 holy rings for this one, 3 for this one, and 2 for our king. So let's create. So now wait for your warriors to pick up their weapons from the warehouse. So we need to, go, and they will move there. So the squad is under your direct control. It can be managed with the right mouse button. You can find its menu in the lower left corner. So when the squad is selected, click the right mouse button on the enemy squad banner to engage in combat. So yeah, you just need to have the lord selected basically, because the lord now leads the squad. Wait for the battle results. So I'm going to unpause, and we're just going to go and attack these bandits. So let's also slow it down a little bit so we can actually see stuff. So they're fighting. Boom. Yep, and they're definitely... oh, he got stabbed, but it looks like the bandit is getting a lot more damage done to it than we are. Great. So, the bandit squad has been defeated and their leader is vanquished. Your warriors will capture and take as hostages those who survived, and the peasants will bring them to the settlement later. Excellent. Now is a good time to launch a counterattack on their camp. Switch to the global map. So now it's time to deal with the bandits. Click on the bandit settlement. Its menu will open in the bottom left corner. Select attack from the action menu. And then select your current squad. So our current squad is not on the global map. So this is why it's highlighting the local map. Our squad is still in our province. We're going to select you, select the squad, and victory chance 81%. That's excellent. So we're going to send the armies. We're going to get a There's a bandit squad of 3 individuals consisting of light fighters, so that means they'll be easier, especially for our lords and mercenaries to take care of. Your neighbours and the Church of Holy Sophia, represented by the matriarch, will be grateful when you destroy the bandit camps. Relationships with the neighbours and the matriarch will improve, the camp will be destroyed, and if there are any hostages in the camp, they will be liberated in case of victory. Possible loot, 75 coins, and an unknown number. That icon means prisoners. So it depends on, we might take them all prisoner, or 3 of the individuals prisoner, we might take none of them. This depends on the outcome of the battle. I'm going to speed it up, so that way they move quickly. By the way, if you're wondering what happened to our king, whenever they are not, whenever they're, so we gave them the action to come here, to Cadenwood, do all of that. Whenever they don't have anything going on or they've completed it, they automatically just return to your city. So if we went back to our province, we could see it there. So our party has reached the bandit camp and is preparing to launch an attack. Click the battle icon. Here you can see your own and the enemy's squads, as well as an approximate balance of power. You can retreat from the battle if it seems unwinnable, play out the battle automatically, or personally command your squad in combat. Click on the central button to start this battle. So this one here. So you can auto-resolve, battle on the map, or your army will retreat, be considered a defeat, and will hit the mood of the warriors hard, but they will save their lives. So we're going to battle on the map, and it's going to take us to a kind of, battle like this. So when you initiate your attack, the squad is positioned on the left while the enemy is on the right. Click on your squad's banner to control them. Use the right click to select the squad. To attack the enemy squad, right click their banner and wait for the battle results. So I'm going to do that. We are going to zoom in a little bit, and then I am going to slow down so we can actually watch this fight. Look at that. Oh, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Come on, kill him, kill him. Woohoo! Kill him. Yeah, kill him. Come on, kill him, kill him. Yay! Oh, he surrendered. Perfect. Victory! So we've killed one escaped, and we've captured one. And we have no casualties or deaths of any kind. Perfect. Bandit camp destroyed, relationship with neighbours +5, attitude of the matriarch towards your king +12, and we've gained 75 loot and 1 prisoner. Excellent. So let us... So during the game you can always seek assistance by opening the help menu. Sometimes hints related to your current situation will appear here. You can disable this whenever you would like. So we've now completed basic training. We can either continue this game at the easy difficulty level, or through the main menu start a new game by creating your noble family and customizing the political map and difficulty to your liking. And it's the second one that we are going to do now. So I do hope you have enjoyed this episode, that you found the review helpful, and you also found this tutorial helpful. So far, I have to admit, I really enjoyed this game. It is still basic, base bones. Actually, it's a little bit more than just bones, but there's still, you can tell that there's going to be a lot of content added. I mean, it's still only at version 0.39, I believe. So there's definitely lots of improvements to come, lots more content to come. But for a game in early access, I mean, it's very well, it's an excellent start. So I would highly recommend that if you're slightly interested in medieval things, or base building games, or sim games like that, you pick up Norland. So, if you did like this episode, definitely please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for an episode of Jamie Plays. Bye for now.